From the outside, it looked like Hollywood's perfect fairy tale. A glamorous actress, fresh from a high-profile split, and a country music superstar with charm to spare. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban seemed unstoppable. A love story that gave fans hope that real romance still existed under the bright lights of fame. But in Hollywood, nothing is ever as flawless as it seems. Because hidden beneath the smiles, the red carpet photos, and the endless magazine covers was a single legal clause, one that would go on to define their entire marriage and ultimately their divorce. And when you're dealing with a $325 million fortune, 11 properties across 3 continents, and a prenup with one of the most shocking stipulations in celebrity history, the question isn't just why they split. It's who really walks away with the power. In the mid-2000s, Nicole Kidman was everywhere. She had just endured the painful end of her marriage to Tom Cruise, one of Hollywood's biggest stars. After years of scrutiny and speculation, the world was ready to see her happy again. That happiness seemed to arrive in the form of Keith Urban, the guitar-slinging Australian musician who had conquered Nashville and was quickly becoming one of country music's biggest exports. The press fell in love with them immediately. Together, they looked like balance. Nicole, the poised Oscar-winning actress, Keith, the charming musician with a rugged edge. Their wedding in Sydney was a media frenzy. Fans lined the streets, flashing cameras caught every angle, and the world leaned into the idea of a fresh Hollywood love story. But cracks appeared almost immediately. Early in their marriage, Keith checked into rehab for cocaine and alcohol addiction. For Nicole, who had built a public image of elegance and control, it was a moment of reckoning. She didn't walk away. Instead, she stood firmly by his side, calling it a test of love and loyalty. At the time, fans praised her for being a devoted wife, yet that same rehab stint would plant the seed of something much bigger, something that would later dominate headlines: the infamous cocaine clause. Most celebrity prenups are designed to divide money and property in predictable ways, but Nicole and Keith's agreement had a twist almost no one had seen before. According to reports, buried deep within the document was a clause that linked Keith's sobriety to their financial future. If he relapsed, Nicole could walk away with nearly everything. If their marriage ended under normal circumstances, Keith would still receive a payout, a guaranteed $11.4 million. For context, that amount was more than Nicole earned from Moulin Rouge back in 2001. For most people, it's a life-changing sum. But compared to Nicole's staggering $250 million fortune, it was little more than a safety net. Fans were stunned when the details surfaced. Some called it ruthless, others called it brilliant. Legal experts said it was one of the sharpest prenup clauses in Hollywood history. And the truth is, it wasn't random. Nicole reportedly insisted on it after Keith's 2006 rehab stay. It was part protection, part ultimatum: stay sober or risk losing everything. And Nicole and Keith weren't alone in crafting unusual agreements. Britney Spears famously had a prenup that protected her fortune from Kevin Federline. Jessica Simpson's included a clause tied to weight gain. Jeff Bezos, on the other hand, had no prenup at all, a decision that cost him a record-shattering $38 billion in his divorce from Mackenzie Scott. Compared to those stories, Nicole's cocaine clause may have been one of the smartest legal moves we've seen in Hollywood. But while the prenup set the stage for their divorce, it was only part of a much larger picture. Because when $325 million is on the line, you don't just fight over money, you fight over homes, investments, and even children. Nicole and Keith didn't just own houses, they owned an empire. Together, they controlled 11 luxury properties worth around $56 million. These weren't random purchases. Each one carried emotional weight and serious financial value. Their $4.8 million Nashville mansion had grown in value to nearly $9 million. For years, it was the heart of their family life, the house where holidays were celebrated and milestones were marked. Then there was their $6.5 million New York apartment, a sleek residence overlooking Central Park, said to be one of Nicole's favorite retreats. In Sydney, they owned a sprawling farmhouse escape, the place Nicole would retreat to when filming became overwhelming. And of course, their Beverly Hills property, valued at more than $4 million, offered them access to the center of Hollywood's elite circle. But here's where the story shifts from sentimental to strategic. According to the Economic Times, these weren't just emotional homes, they were investments. Some of them had outperformed the stock market in appreciation. And when you're talking about real estate on this scale, it's not just about where you live, it's about how you secure long-term wealth. With divorce proceedings underway, the question became, how do you divide $56 million in property spread across 3 continents? Nicole was reportedly fighting hard for the Sydney estate and the New York apartment, while Keith set his sights on Nashville. But experts confirm, splitting homes this valuable is less about emotion and more about chess. Every property you hold onto isn't just a place to sleep. It's a financial weapon that shapes the future. And if property was one battlefield, custody was another. For Nicole, Custody has always been a sensitive subject. In the 1990s, after her split from Tom Cruise, she lost daily custody of her adopted children, Isabella and Connor. Many fans believe she never fully recovered from that heartbreak. With Keith, the stakes were different. Together, they share 2 daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret. And according to reports, Nicole is determined not to repeat history. People magazine claims she is pushing for primary custody, while Keith may accept shared time. But here's the detail most fans overlook. Custody battles aren't just about parenting. In celebrity divorces, they're also about financial leverage. Family law experts confirm that primary custody can dramatically influence child support, spousal support, and even property division. In other words, when Nicole fights for custody, she isn't only fighting as a mother, she's also positioning herself in the broader game of financial chess. And while custody pulls at the heart, money still dominates the headlines. Which brings us back to the cold, hard numbers.